From Marmo Studio, here's Jim Brodden.
At Marmo Conference Room 206, this is the Marmo Podcast. We're talking to J.D. Cleary. J.D. is with a company called Leg Up Health. And it looks very intriguing, particularly as a small business and our entrepreneur over many, many years who's had to buy their insurance in the open market. J.D., thank you very, very much for joining us today. And let's talk a little bit about what your company does and then sort of how you ended up getting into that area. And we'll spend about 10 minutes talking about it.
Perfect. Well, yeah, thanks for having me, Jim. Appreciate the time and the opportunity here. Leg Up Health is a health insurance concierge service that we created for small businesses and their team members.
Right.
Health insurance can be a nightmare.
Absolutely.
And helping people and small businesses navigate their options so that they get the best solution, the best coverage for their current business stage and budget, and don't feel sold or hustled while doing it, is really what we're all about at Leg Up Health.
Wow. So what's your market? What are you going after?
So we think the underserved part of the market are small business owners, founders, with generally in the neighborhood of 2 to 25 employees.
Okay, so 25 is sort of your cutoff into what you aggressively pursue then?
Correct. We can help a company of any size, but health insurance changes as soon as you hit 50.
Right.
Full-time. So that's an easy.
The whole lot
mark.
of regs that change in general at that rate.
Exactly. So companies with that 2 to 25 number of employees, usually they've hired their first full-time employee, or they're a team of co-founders working together.
Right.
Just secured funding maybe, and are ready to offer something, ready to think about.
Right. So you're not going after the solopreneur necessarily then?
Well, we are in part because for the that's actually the origin of Leg Up Health. Started with us observing that people, consumers in this country, that were going to the health insurance marketplaces, really needed help figuring out how to get there and how to enroll and how to have confidence in the plan that they've selected.
Right.
So we started the concierge service helping consumers pick their health plans on the health insurance marketplaces.
Right.
And then took that and have packaged that concierge service to small businesses so we can help their team members do the same thing.
Beginning with consumers.
Yes. Yep.
So actually, so what I was for 30 plus years was who you were electing to serve then.
Precisely. Yeah. If you have ever had to go out as a solopreneur, self-employed, and had to buy your own health insurance, then yeah. Was it a nightmare?
20 years. I don't know how much money I spent with virtually no coverage because it was always an incredibly high deductible. So anyway, let's get away from my personal experience. But yes, I appreciate what you and your company do. And what did the founder, did he come from like an entrepreneurial kind of background?
Absolutely. So I moved from New England in Massachusetts out to Utah back in 2008.
Right.
And I met my current partner and founder, Rick Lindquist, in 2009.
Okay.
And he was with a company called Zane Benefits. And the whole philosophy back then, this is 2009, 2010, was, hey, small group health insurance is too expensive for the majority of small businesses, too administratively cumbersome. Basically, small group health insurance doesn't work for small businesses. Well, we put a program together where these companies nationwide could give tax-free money to their employees to go buy their own coverage.
Right.
We built a software to help small businesses administer that. It was called a health reimbursement arrangement.
Okay.
Rick, my partner, extremely visionary within the small business health insurance sector. It really saw that there was this better way to do health benefits without traditional group health insurance.
How did you maneuver through that? This is so intriguing to me. I mean, and you're a principal in this organization,
right? Yeah, I'm a partner. So it's a small team. We've all worked within let's call it the tech ecosystem. How do we build software to help small businesses administer these complicated, arrangements where they're giving employees money for health benefits? But the three of us work really well together from a product standpoint, sales and marketing, but just really an understanding of the small business health benefits ecosystem and what's important to a small business when they're hiring their first employee, or they're trying to figure out, is group health insurance right for me, or should I do this tax-free arrangement? So there's all these options on the table that oftentimes they're not going to be told about, or just aren't people aren't patient enough to explain to them.
So the technical aspect of your product, I mean, obviously there's a lot of personal consultation, I'm guessing. Virgil on the phone here at Marmo. So yep. I know that you have a lot of personal conversations with the entrepreneurs and or business owners, et cetera. But are you able to offer, it sounds like maybe a sort of a plug and crank once you get them on where the software does a lot of the analysis on their part?
Good question. So it's a service business, without question, it's a service business, right? I mean, when you help somebody with health insurance, something that's so critical financially and personally to their well-being and their family's finances. So it's service first, but we think with our founding team that we've got a leg up.
So to speak, yeah, right? Of course.
From a tech standpoint, to automate and to message our clients at the right time with the right information that they, for example, people need to put health insurance information on their taxes. Form 1095A is a thing. They have to report it when they get it from the marketplace. So we've built systems that provide our clients that information in a really easy way so that they don't have to scramble and figure out what's going on.
So it makes it a little bit less scary.
Heck yeah. Health insurance is scary.
Well, and something I know that people want to offer their employees and our associates, and it can be so difficult to maneuver through it. So, I mean, how do you approach somebody, an entrepreneur, for example, and let them know that, no, this is not as difficult as you might think it is?
So one of the first things that I think is important is to help them understand that Obamacare isn't a bad word.
Right. No, exactly. I understand that.
It's been around for so long now. It's entrenched in our healthcare system, right? It came out in 2014. I mean, here we are 10 years later. It's a thing. And it's actually a great thing for a lot of early stage entrepreneurs, business owners, because the coverage is standardized. When people go to the marketplace, they're buying real coverage from a real health insurance company. But I think the biggest secret that a lot of people don't talk about is the availability of these premium tax credits. Based on your household size and your projected household income, the government is subsidizing a massive amount of the health insurance premiums, where 4 out of 5 of our clients pay less than $20 a month for their health insurance premium.
For somebody who went, I don't know, 15, 20 years paying $1,000 a month for $5,000 deductible, that's very appealing.
And the system has been built to accommodate that. Now, the key, though, and this is where I think, our vision of small business benefits is one that is really well received. One of the worst things some companies can do, not all, but this is where we want to do a real full-blown analysis for companies based on their existing employee demographics. But one of the worst things a small business can do is offer health insurance to their employees. Small business health insurance.
I'm listening.
Okay. The reason is offering employer coverage will disqualify the employee and likely their family members from those discounts on the premiums. All right. So one of the best things they can do is support their employees and help them go to the health insurance marketplace to enroll in coverage, and support them with a health insurance concierge like Leg Up is, what we're trying to help them do. So their employees are empowered to pick the right plans at the right price and get those premium tax credits and aren't disqualified from them by their employer offering coverage.
Can in fact the employer then offer a financial subsidy in terms of additional salary or bonuses to cover that without jeopardizing the credits that the employee gets?
Fantastic. There's a couple approaches, right? So our prior companies that we had helped build in that tech sector I referenced with the tax-free version, those are called HRAs, health reimbursement arrangement. Phenomenal strategy for some companies where the company can give tax-free money to employees, they buy their own health insurance and they don't pay taxes on the money. It does disqualify the employees from the premium tax credits in many cases. So if you have an employee demographic where maybe they make too much money to qualify for the discounts, the tax-free HRA approach, phenomenal. Love it. If you've got an employee demographic, I think like hospitality industries, service industries, where employees might not be making enough they might not qualify. Let me restate that. They would qualify for the premium tax credits on the marketplace. you don't want to give them access to group health insurance because then they'll lose their discount.
Exactly.
Nor do you want to give them HRA money because they would lose their discount. Let them go to the marketplace and buy it, and you can provide them taxable money toward it as an employer benefit, is the way that we think about it.
I understand. So tax on the front side because it's income, but a real break on the back side when they go into the market and buy it. Am I understanding?
Massive premium savings. Yes, precisely. So if they can go get a health insurance plan for $0,
Yeah.
why would you do anything else? Why would you offer a group plan? Why would you disqualify them with an HRA? Let them go get the $0 plan. Give them some money. Maybe they use that money to fund their health savings account. Right. Maybe they want to use that money to, pay for rent for a couple of months. The benefit from a small business is money that the employee then gets to choose.
Here on the island, Galveston Island, have a huge service community.
All right.
I mean, it sounds like this is just the place where, and many of them, most I guess, are probably either underinsured or uninsured.
Mm-hmm.
Because you hear the horror stories when something happens and they have to go to the emergency room or something like that. That's the only thing they can do.
Yeah.
And then have to live with the expense of that for a long, long time.
Right. And horror story relates to me. We hear it all the time. Part of what we want to do is just help people through these horror stories, knowing what we know and all the different gotchas along the way within our crazy healthcare system. But for the hospitality, retail, small business,
right.
I think the challenge is, and what we aim to do is to help them see the vision that not offering health insurance, traditional health insurance, is a fantastic way of providing benefits to your people when they qualify for the discounts in the marketplace. Let them go take advantage of that and support them through providing a concierge service to help them navigate it, and then provide money toward it. If you as a small business owner can afford it, then go ahead and do it.
So they need they need to evaluate the economic demographics, if you would, of their employee base, and then you can work with individual employees, and that's your concierge service to a degree.
Yep. So individual employees, like I said, co-founders, solopreneurs are fantastic individual clients, because the health insurance system is made up such that we get paid by the health insurance company, and we're contracted with all of the health insurance companies through the marketplace. So our job is to be an unbiased guide to help that person pick the right plan for their current, family demographics and needs. Which providers do you care about? Which prescriptions do you currently take? Which hospitals you want to go to, and guide them to the right provider, independent of what, commissions.
So this is so you have some almost like fiduciary responsibility
Certainly.
in this, or that you take it.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, but I think the key in today's landscape of health insurance, you have to be an unbiased advisor and really help the person understand the system and why the marketplace might ask certain questions about your projected income. Why, if your income changes mid-year, you want to update your application so you don't have an unnecessary tax bill come tax time. So lots of regulatory components to what we do, but always keeping the consumer in mind and doing what's best for them.
Let's walk through the steps, if I could. So suppose through one way or another, you make contact with an employer.
Mm-hmm.
How do you assist them in selling their employees or informing their employees past the built-in ambiguity and certainly the lack of transparency, the opacity of our health insurance in the United States?
So the first thing I would say is there's always a needs analysis, right? Let's look at the data objectively and go, hey, let's look at your employees and zip codes, ages, projected incomes, like that. Those are all components of telling the story and helping them pick the direction. But let's say the direction is support your employees on the marketplace.
Right.
The most important thing you do is help those employees understand why. Why is the company deciding to do this?
Right.
Why is this a good thing for you as an employee of that company? And help them see that, hey, if your employer offered you group health insurance, here's how much you would have paid versus here's what you're going to pay on the marketplace for your family of fives Blue Cross Blue Shield plan, and it's going to cost you $20 a month.
Those are incredible numbers.
And they're not made up.
No, I understand that.
They're not. It's incredible when we take, because oftentimes the small group plans, the same exact plans are offered on the health insurance marketplace, identical. It's the same health insurance plan where, and I'm making these numbers up, an employer plan might be $1,200 per month, right? If the employer offers this, it's $1,200 a month for a family of 4 to participate in this. Well, that same family of 4, it might be a one person income. You might have one spouse working, one spouse not working, right? So you got a family of 4. Maybe they're making $70,000 a year, right? That family of 4 goes out and finds that same plan. They might pay $150, $200 per month for that same exact plan that would have been $1,200 or $1,400 from the employer.
When the employer pays for insurance, sometimes the employee does not see that and hence does not know the value of that benefit because maybe they've never bought health insurance in the open market ever.
Right.
How do you assist the employer in making that clear? The value, this is the value proposition here is just unbelievable.
So a couple things come to mind. One is we do help companies do small group health insurance, right? So some companies, we look at the data and hey, traditional group health insurance maybe is best. Maybe they're trying to recruit a certain set of type of employee where group health insurance might work better. But that company where they've had group health insurance before and your employees don't know, that's one profile of company. The ones that I think are far more underserved and far more interesting for our market are companies that have never offered group health insurance before.
Yes.
Okay, so their employees don't necessarily have this skewed view of what the world looks like. And when you put a plan in front of them that they can see for their family of 4 that costs them less than $100 a month,
right?
And the employer is going to kick in some money, potentially, if the employer decides to, they're whole. And they're not going to typically challenge that. Why would they think, oh, I'm getting my entire health insurance premium covered. I can see the doctors that I want to go see. I get my prescriptions covered. It really is rewarding to help the small business owner see that approach, but then see it in reality when the employees are actually going, I can't believe this is real.
I'm impressed, sort of stunned by what you're doing and what a niche that you're. How many companies then do you represent? You say you have a lot of companies.
We've helped hundreds of people and consumers. We're just getting our employer marketing rolling. So we've helped 100 or so companies think about and put their employee benefits programs in place.
How about companies that you might represent? Insurers. Do you have a number of insurers that you access then?
Every health insurance company that's available in the Utah marketplace, as well as all of the health insurance companies available on the Texas marketplace. So we founded the company to serve Utah small businesses and their team members. We've now just expanded it to Texas. So it's Utah and Texas and any insurance company available in those markets.
Let's talk Texas a little bit then, because this is a fairly new venture for you into the Texas market. Am I?
It is. Correct. Yeah, we're excited about it.
But you prototyped in Utah.
Yep.
So let's just take it to the nitty gritty now. Suppose a small business person is listening to this that does not provide insurance for their company. What's their next step?
We'd love to support them in not offering health insurance. If that
no, what a counterintuitive
right
proposition.
Hey, the fact that you don't offer health insurance is likely a great thing, but we'd love to help you package that and communicate that to your employees so they understand why it's a great thing and how they can benefit from you, a small business owner, not offering traditional health insurance. And like I said, if it makes sense for them to offer traditional health insurance, we can do a needs analysis, look at the data and say, okay, let's go that direction.
You provide them with the tools then to offer this to their employees as well?
We do, because communication is a huge part of employee health benefits, right? So our software will communicate to the employees what their employer's offering. And if it's just concierge with no employer funding,
right,
that's great. They can do that. If they want to kick some money toward it, like a monthly benefit allowance,
right,
our software will communicate that to the employees, and then the employees get in touch with our concierge services so that they can help or we can help them pick the right plan for their family.
Wow, this has been incredibly interesting. See,
not everyone says that about health insurance, Jim.
no, I mean, that's only because it gets so close to home. I mean, this, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that listen to this podcast who are either small or solo or making that venture from no employees to some employees, or considering offering a benefit and recognizing now that a benefit may not really be a benefit.
You just let me think of something. I mean, so many solopreneurs are fearful of going solopreneur full time.
Yeah.
You know, they might be working a 9 to 5, and many of the clients that we've helped, like they're going, hey, it was so hard for me to make the leap from traditional W-2 employment into solopreneurship because I was worried about health insurance.
Yes.
I was worried how much it was going to cost or whether we could get it at all. And when we start going through the finances of what it means to be a solopreneur in year one, right, and what your income or revenue might look like, it almost always makes sense to go marketplace, and then you don't even have anything to think about with respect to health insurance and costs.
What an incredible solution. I don't know how many solopreneurs' wife or partner is still working with a traditional job with benefits simply to cover the potential insurance issues of
it's still real.
the relationship that's going off on their own.
Yeah.
And this gives an option.
Correct.
Wow. J.D. Cleary with Leg Up Health. This has been an intriguing and an interesting and informing conversation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Jim. Thanks for having me.
For Marvel Podcast, this is Jim Bratton.
From Marmo Studio, you've been listening to Jim Bratton. This is Sierra Sakol.